The film opens with a bustling scene in the red light district, introducing a low-ranking police officer named Jia Chai. Despite being over 50 years old, Jia Chai always fails to achieve a higher position because he never bribes his superiors and refuses to engage in corruption like his colleagues. One day, while walking in the red light district, Jia Chai witnesses a commotion where a mafia member is publicly beating a man. Coincidentally, the man being beaten is Jia Chai's friend and the mafia member is Simon. According to circulating rumors, Simon is the ruler of Bangkok, and everyone submits to him. Even law enforcement officers don't dare to touch him. At that moment, the man being tortured by Simon asks Jia Chai for help. Unfortunately, Jia Chai refuses to get involved because he is afraid of Simon, allowing the brutal act to continue. Late at night, Jia Chai is seen gambling at Simon's casino to earn money for his daily needs. However, after losing, Jia Chai decides to approach one of Simon's henchmen to sell his gun. Unfortunately, Simon's henchman cannot buy it at a high price because the gun is too old. The next night, Simon is walking around the city and stops in front of a pizza shop. At that moment, he calls the shop owner to order a box of pizza and a drink. Shortly after, the shop owner, named Fa, comes out to deliver his order. Upon seeing her, Simon appears intrigued by Fa's beauty, even though she is already married. They have a brief conversation because Fa is interested in the gun Simon is carrying, which happens to be Jia Chai's gun. After talking with Simon, Fa is startled by the arrival of a young man named Thought, who turns out to be Fa's brother-in-law who has just been released from prison. Apparently, Thought comes to the shop to ask his older brother, Singh, for a job. Initially, Singh doesn't want to hire him because Fa doesn't want a former criminal as an employee. However, as an older brother, Singh wants to give his younger brother a chance as long as Thought is willing to change for the better. Not long after, Simon is seen visiting Jia Chai's house to offer job, where he tells him that he will give Jia Chai money if he is willing to do something for him. Hearing this, Jia Chai is somewhat hesitant to accept the job because he is about to receive his police pension. However, the amount of money Simon offers exceeds 1 million baht, so Jia Chai accepts the job. Simon then explains that Jia Chai's task is simply to transport gold from Bangkok to Pattaya, ensuring that no police officers intercept him. Elsewhere, we are introduced to a tarot reader named Gi. According to rumors, Gi gained the ability to read fortunes after a fatal accident that occurred when she was 16 years old. In that incident, her entire family perished and Gi grew up as an orphan. In the present, Gi is known as the most famous fortune teller in Pattaya because all her predictions always come true. One day, Gi meets a fisherman named Hawk at the fish market to discuss something. Apparently, the fortune teller came to persuade Hawk to cooperate in destroying Simon and his henchmen. It turns out that 6 months ago, Hawk was one of Simon's henchmen, handling dirty work, especially transporting gold from Bangkok to Pattaya and vice versa. Unfortunately, on his last job, Hawk was caught by the police and customs officers on suspicion of smuggling illegal goods. Because Hawk failed, Simon flew into a rage and immediately dragged Hawk away, injuring his left eye in the process. Since then, Hawk always wears sunglasses and has distanced himself from the criminal world by becoming an ordinary fisherman. But this time, the buried grudge resurfaces, stirred up by Gi. The plan is for Gi to rob Simon's gold, which Jia Chai will be transporting. However, for this revenge mission, Gi needs one more person. Without hesitation, Hawk mentions the name Thought. It is known that Thought is the most dangerous hitman in Thailand, considered crucial by Hawk for this revenge mission. Hawk then recounts an incident from 3 years ago when Thought slaughtered all his targets while they were playing tennis. Since that incident, Thought was sentenced to life imprisonment. However, Thought cleverly forged documents and managed to get out of prison in just 3 years. In the present, Thought has decided to stop being a hitman to help his older brother run a pizza restaurant, but secretly, he has set up a business within a business, selling drugs in the form of special salt hidden in pizza boxes. So it's no wonder why the previously quiet restaurant has now become crowded with customers. On the other hand, Fa starts to get suspicious of Thought's very suspicious behavior. After serving customers, she immediately checks the drawer that her brother-in-law often opens. And sure enough, there are many packages of drugs ready to be sold. Fa then immediately tells Thought that she will inform Singh about the drugs. However, if Thought agrees to serve her, Fa promises to keep it a secret. Hearing this, Thought refuses because he does not want to ruin his brother's marriage. Even so, he still respects his older brother. Shortly after, Hawk visits the shop to persuade Thought to cooperate with him. While trying to convince him, Hawk's eyelid suddenly starts bleeding, and he explains that his left eye was injured by someone, though he doesn't mention Simon's name at all. After a long conversation, Hawk explains the robbery plan. Unfortunately, the plan doesn't interest Thought, even though the reward is quite substantial. That night, Fah again tries to seduce her brother-in-law. Luckily, Thought still doesn't succumb to temptation and tries to respect his brother's marriage. But because Fah continues to seduce and force him, Thought becomes fed up and starts to attack Fah. Fortunately, Singh arrives just in time. Otherwise, Thought would have killed Fah. At that moment, Thought explains that Fah is not a good woman and suggests that his brother divorce her. However, Fah twists the facts in front of her husband and accuses Thought of trying to molest her. To make matters worse, Fah also reveals the drugs that have been smuggled into the pizza boxes. Instantly, Singh becomes very angry and deeply disappointed with Thought. Despite giving him a good job in hopes that he would change, Singh realizes that Thought still cannot leave his old habits. Feeling cornered, Thought reflexively points his gun, which only deepens Singh's disappointment, and eventually, Thought is thrown out of the restaurant. While he got on the public transportation, Thought is suddenly confronted by a thug who seems to underestimate him. However, the thug immediately becomes scared when Thought pulls out his gun. A few days later, Simon invites GI to have his fortune told, but first, Simon is asked to share his dark past. Crying in front of GI, Simon recounts the tragic story of his stepfather's death, revealing that he was the one who killed his stepfather. In the middle of the story, a woman suddenly enters the room, and it turns out to be Fah. Apparently, Fah has come to offer herself as a companion because she knows Simon is very fond of her. GI, who had predicted this, immediately places a hidden camera disguised as a cigarette pack and contacts Hawk to tell him that Fah is having an affair with Simon, where she believes that this is a great opportunity to slowly destroy Simon. Hearing this, Hawk orders a pizza to be delivered to Simon's hotel, and without wasting any time, Singh rushes to deliver the order. After that, GI approaches Jia Chai, who happens to be playing at Simon's casino. She then introduces herself to the police officer, but for some reason, Jia Chai seems uncomfortable with her presence. At the same time, Simon and Fah are seen getting intimate, and of course, everything they do is recorded by GI's camera. Shortly after, Fah suddenly grabs a gun and points it at Simon, intending to rob the mafia boss. Seeing this, Simon quickly grabs the gun and turns the tables. But just as Simon is about to shoot her, Singh suddenly enters the room to deliver pizza and sees his wife there. At that moment, Singh finally believes Thought's words that Fah is not a good woman, and without hesitation, Singh runs and tackles Simon. In the struggle, Singh still believes that Fah can change for the better, so he asks her to throw her gun so he can kill Simon. Unfortunately, Fah hands her gun to Simon instead. As a result, Simon overpowers Singh and shot him. After that, Simon orders his henchmen to dispose of Singh's body far away. However, during the journey, Singh suddenly revives, manages to stop the car, causing it to crash. Although Singh manages to get out of the car, fate takes another turn, and one of Simon's severely injured henchmen exits the car and shoots him. In the end, Singh cannot survive for long and dies after being riddled with bullets. The next day, GI returns to meet Jia Chai at the casino. This time, GI offers him consulting services, and because she is eloquent and persuasive, Jia Chai begins to be intrigued. At that moment, Jia Chai shares about his daughter who suffers from a mental disorder. It is so severe that she has lost her sanity and does strange things like wrapping everything in the house with plastic. Hearing this story, GI feels sympathetic, especially since she has also experienced traumatic problems. GI then offers a free tarot reading to predict Jia Chai's future. However, GI is only pretending to read the tarot while actually gathering detailed information about the gold transfer that Jia Chai will be conducting. On the other hand, Thought has just heard that his brother was found dead on the roadside. Thought then immediately confronts the forensic doctor who made the autopsy report, which concluded that Singh died in an accident, even though the gunshot wounds on his body clearly indicated that the cause of death was bullets. Because of this, Thought is convinced that the doctor was bribed, but forgives him because the doctor agrees to redo the autopsy. At that moment, Thought gazes at Singh's pale face. Despite being a brutal hitman, Thought deeply loves his brother, who has taken care of him since childhood. And without realizing it, tears start to flow down his cheeks. Upon returning from the hospital, Thought is once again approached by Hawk, who again invites him to work together. Hawk promises to reveal who killed Singh if Thought agrees to cooperate. Unfortunately, Thought prefers to find the perpetrator on his own. Meanwhile, Simon is seen exercising in his hotel, while his henchmen arrive with Jia Chai to discuss the gold transfer plan. Since he is being massaged, Simon instructs Jia Chai and the others to explain the plan while crouching. At that moment, Jia Chai informs them about a gang called the Shark Gang that controls the Kamburi area, which will be the main route for the gold transfer. To avoid the risk of encountering this gang, Jia Chai suggests changing the travel route. On the other hand, Hawk and Gi appear like a couple on a date by the lake, as they have grown fond of each other from spending so much time together. While enjoying the cold night, Hawk asks why Gi allowed Singh to die when he had nothing to do with the revenge mission. Gi then explains that Singh had to die to give Thought a motive for revenge against Simon. This way, Thought would agree to the cooperation. Hearing this, Hawk begins to fear her cunning mind, but Gi assures Hawk that she will not betray him. Elsewhere, Thought is seen entering the pizza shop, now filled with moldy food. In that place, Thought reminisces about his late brother who had raised him since they became orphans. At the same time, Thought accidentally touches the keyboard of the computer on the cashier's desk, which is still on. There, he sees the number and address of the last person who ordered pizza. Because of this, Thought decides to write it down immediately. Finally, the day of the gold transfer arrives, where Jia Chai was seen executing his main plan, which is to retrieve the gold now stored in the police evidence warehouse. It turns out the gold Jia Chai has to deliver to Pattaya is the same gold seized by the police 6 months ago due to Hawk's failure. After picking up the gold, Jia Chai meets Simon's henchmen who are already on standby there, and without further ado, the gold transfer mission begins. Shortly after, at a crossroads, Jia Chai instructs Simon's henchmen to change the route as planned. After a long journey, Simon's henchmen feel hungry and decide to stop at an old cinema with a cafe on the ground floor. Initially, Jia Chai is reluctant to get out of the car, but it turns out that the cinema is showing an old movie. Unexpectedly, the actress starring in the film is Jia Chai's late wife. As a result, Jia Chai enters the cinema to reminisce about his wife. At that moment, Simon's henchmen order food on the lower floor, unaware that the place is actually a fake cinema set up by Hawk and Gi. Additionally, they manage to persuade Thought to join their revenge mission. Therefore, they divide the tasks. Gi will distract Simon's henchmen, Thought will pose as a restaurant waiter, and Hawk is tasked with guarding Jia Chai at the cinema. Once everyone is trapped, Thought goes on a rampage and kills all of Simon's henchmen. On the other hand, Jia Chai is still engrossed in the film he is watching. After years, Jia Chai finally dares to see his late wife again. While wiping his tears, Jia Chai suddenly realizes that all the other audience members in the cinema are mannequin statues. Shocked, Jia Chai rushes to protect his gold. However, he discovers that all the items he brought have been stolen by Gi and her associates. Meanwhile, Gi, Hawk, and Thought take the gold to a certain location. At that place, Gi's assistant is tasked with gradually converting the gold into cash. Based on their calculations, the gold is worth 560 million baht, where Gi says that Hawk and Thought will each receive 50 million baht for the first transfer, while the rest will be transferred once the situation is safe. However, Gi forbids them from using the money for a year to avoid suspicion from Simon or the police. Additionally, she warns them not to communicate with each other until the situation allows. Before they part ways, Thought calls the last number that ordered pizza from the shop, and to his surprise, Hawk's phone suddenly rings. As a result, Thought immediately points his gun, realizing that Gi and Hawk had planned this dirty scheme to involve him in the gold heist. Despite being captured, Gi and Hawk try to justify themselves by explaining that Singh shouldn't have died, but because of Fa's affair with Simon, Singh was killed. Finally, Hawk shows the video evidence of Fa and Simon from that day. At the same time, Simon calls Jia Chai to his hotel. At that moment, Simon is furious because he lost 560 million baht worth of gold due to a film. As punishment, Simon gives Jia Chai the film's video recording and orders him to eat it. With his mouth bleeding, Jia Chai vows to Simon that he will retrieve the gold, no matter what. Without wasting any time, Jia Chai heads to Gi's house to investigate, convinced that Gi is the mastermind behind the gold robbery. Upon arriving, unfortunately, Jia Chai finds nothing but a pile of tarot cards and newspaper clippings. Additionally, the newspaper clippings show a picture of Thought being arrested by the police 3 years ago. The next day, Jia meets a broker to sell his antique weapon. Apparently, he needs a lot of money for the gold search expenses, especially since Simon has not provided him with any money. The broker offers Jia's antique weapon to his boss, and they both enter Singh's now dilapidated pizza shop to conduct the transaction. When Ji suddenly arrives, Jia suddenly becomes enraged and almost kills her. Fortunately, Ji's henchmen manage to restrain Jia. At that moment, Ji tries to speak calmly with Jia and explains that she had no intention of ruining his life. Where Ji claims to have done all this to help Thought avenge his brother's death, though it's clear she had meticulously planned everything. To keep Jia from interfering further, Ji then buys his antique pistol for millions of baht. According to her, with that much money, Jia can treat his daughter, but only if he agrees not to reveal her whereabouts to Simon. Meanwhile, Fah looks very disheveled as she is confined in Simon's hotel, having been used to satisfy his desires. At that moment, Fah has to pretend to be obedient so that Simon doesn't kill her. In addition to feeling stressed, Fah also feels guilty about Singh's death. The following night, Ji and Thought visit Simon's hotel to propose a deal. However, Ji has also made a plan with Jia to take down Simon. After being checked by Simon's henchmen, they are finally allowed to enter. At that moment, Thought offers Fah a ticket to Hong Kong, essentially giving her a choice between death or leaving Thailand. Before that, Thought wants to hear the true story about Singh's death. Unfortunately, instead of telling the truth, Fah fabricates a completely different story, claiming she never had an affair with Simon and that Singh died in an accident. Ji adds more lies to make Thought believe them and abandon his revenge. Because if Thought goes on a rampage, everyone there would surely die instantly. Amidst the tension, Jia suddenly appears in a ridiculous clown costume. Seeing this, Simon dismisses him for ruining the mood. After Jia leaves, Simon's henchmen notice Hawk is already there. Therefore, they immediately point their guns and capture Hawk. In Simon's room, Thought is fed up with fast drama, so he tells Fah to leave Thailand as soon as possible. But as Fah is about to leave, she is suddenly attacked. After killing Fah and some of Simon's henchmen, Thought goes on to hunt down everyone involved in Singh's murder, mercilessly slaughtering them all. In another room, 2 of Simon's henchmen are about to execute Hawk. However, they don't know that Hawk is ready to fight to the last drop of blood. Meanwhile, despite being severely injured, Thought continues to fight Simon's henchmen and the corrupt police guarding the hotel. Shortly after, Thought leaves the hotel to find Simon, Ji, and Hawk. Unfortunately, Thought encounters security officers there. At the same time, Hawk is singing in a karaoke room to celebrate the death of Simon's henchman. Unbeknownst to him, one of Simon's henchmen is still alive, and she is the one who injured his eye. She then pulls out a knife and attacks Hawk without mercy. On the other hand, Ji is on the hotel rooftop to kill Simon. But it turns out that Simon is already waiting there with a hammer. A fight then ensues. Just as Simon is about to kill Ji, Thought suddenly arrives. In the middle of the fight, Jia also appears and points a gun at Simon, while saying that he wants to be a good cop even though he is about to retire. When Simon is cornered, Jia gives his gun to Thought so that the hitman can avenge his brother's death. Unfortunately, Simon is still alive despite being riddled with bullets. At the same time, Hawk manages to get his revenge by injuring the eye of Simon's henchman. After that, Hawk throws the henchman out so that his body falls on Simon, who is already dying. A year after Simon and his henchmen are killed, Jia is living comfortably enjoying his retirement. Additionally, his daughter has recovered from her mental disorder thanks to the money from selling his antique pistol. While Jia and his daughter are celebrating the new year, a man who was tortured by Simon at the beginning of the film, and whom Jia did not help, approaches him and stabs Jia in the stomach, killing him. On the other hand, Thought has retired from being a hitman and has become a package courier. One day, Thought delivers a package to Jia's daughter containing her father's antique pistol. Seeing this, Thought tries to ignite a sense of revenge in the girl so that she can avenge her father's death. Meanwhile, Ji has moved abroad to secure her safety. However, feeling bored, Ji decides to contact Hawk to propose a new heist mission. Hearing this, Hawk immediately refuses to work with the cunning woman, and the film ends. Moral lesson from the story: even if you never bribe your boss, you might still end up watching an old movie while eating molded pizza in a fake cinema. So remember, life can be like a bad action film with terrible plot twists. Always expect the unexpected.